Hello. You're not going to believe where I've been. It's not interesting, I'm sorry to say. I've just been sick. I've been sick, so I was all stuffy, and I had a cough, and I still kind of have a cough, you know. But I'm not sick anymore. I just get a cough for a while after I've been sick. So I didn't want to stream, which is a shame for me and for my job, because a lot of stuff has been happening. Hey, you know the government shutdown, the one that's about to hit a record length. We're on day 30 right now, and what was the record? 35? We're gonna hit a new record, buddy. Well, see, that's the thing. It's the phlegm. It's the phlegm in the throat, folks. You can't. It's not easy to do this YouTubing stuff if you got phlegm in your throat. I don't know how people do it. What do you do if you get sick? I guess you just die. I've always wondered this about politicians. If a politician has like a cold and a stuffy nose, they're not gonna like sniffle and rub their nose all day when they're at like a fancy dinner or something. We're fighting over SNAP funds, folks. 1 in 8 Americans, about 40 million Americans, rely on the government to pay them money because our corporations don't pay people a living wage. So the government subsidizes those low wages by providing people food stamps. And a judge has issued a ruling blocking the Trump administration from no longer paying SNAP funds once the money runs out tomorrow. For more on that, here's CNN.
A major development this afternoon as millions of Americans are preparing to lose government food assistance. A federal judge now says she may intervene to compel the Trump administration
woke
into using emergency funds to keep the SNAP program open. If not, 42 million Americans will begin to lose their benefits starting on Saturday.
42 million. Jesus Christ, this country, man.
It is day 30 of the government shutdown, and as the pain sets in for so many, lawmakers are scrambling. Today, Republican leaders are blasting Democrats' push for a partial reopening. Here's what House Speaker Mike Johnson told CNN today.
If you deviate from the goal of reopening the entire government, Chuck Schumer and the radicals over there will continue to play games with people's paychecks, their livelihoods. And if you do just part of this, it will reduce the pressure for them to do all of it, to do their basic job, and that is reopen the government. This is very real and very serious, and they can end it today.
The insane thing is that I genuinely think the only reason this is keeping on is because the Republicans are desperate to look strong and not give Trump a perceived like L by negotiating with the Democrats. You're not going to believe this, okay? So here's the article. The judge has issued a ruling forcing the Trump administration to direct emergency funds towards continuing to fund SNAP. I think it said $6 billion, $6 billion in contingency funds, which is not that much. That's not going to last that long. Set aside by Congress to continue issuing SNAP benefits. Now, the insane thing is, okay, SNAP going under with Trump in office would look terrible for the Republicans, okay? A bunch of poor people going into Kroger's or Safeway and finding that their EBT card, their food stamps no longer functions, and that's on the government with Republicans leading the government. That's not good. That's not good for them. But the Republican Party is so committed to cruelty here, even at the expense of their own political outcomes. They were arguing against this ruling. A Justice Department lawyer argued during a hearing that the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, SNAP, did not exist anymore because there were no congressionally appropriated funds for it as part of the shutdown. That's not how that works. It's insane. Inventing new legal theories based on a misunderstanding of object permanence just to avoid a politically favorable outcome, which would be the continued funding of SNAP. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Oh, man.
CNN's Renee Marsh and Danny Freeman are following all of this for us. Renee, what more is the judge saying in this effort to keep SNAP money flowing?
Right. So there's this pot of more than $5 billion in emergency funds just sitting at the USDA.
$6 billion, as a matter of fact. I read it in an article.
And the Trump administration said in court today that the agency was prohibited from tapping into those emergency funds to keep the assistance benefits flowing to those 42 million Americans who rely on it. The Trump administration...
Again, why? Why did they say that prior? They can do that if they want to. It's not to the Republicans' benefit to stop funding SNAP, okay? Like, I understand that to the average Republican mind, the only SNAP benefit or benefitee they can imagine is like a poor black urban family or whatever. There are tons and tons of Republican voters who rely on SNAP benefits. Every single Democrat voter who relies on SNAP, who does not have their EBT card, their food stamps refilled, is going to blame Republicans. A lot of Republican voters are too. Nobody's happy when they're in a red line. Okay, nobody. That's not. So what is it? All of the riot is just 3 missed meals away. It applies on both sides of the political spectrum. It's insane that they're keeping this fight up. The only institutions that the Republicans have seen seemed willing to keep afloat in spite of the shutdown are ICE with their super checks and the military. And that's it. Those are the only 2 institutions they've been wanting to keep open. Presumably, again, because they have no intention of fighting a fair election ever again. They're done with the electoral playing field. From now on, they are fully banking on just military rule. They're going to do it with ICE. They're going to do it with the National Guard. They're going to shut down polling stations. They're going to have patrols in Democrat cities. They're going to do everything they can. Because there's no other explanation for this. Government shutdown, the only people you're trying to pay are your brown shirts in the military. Everything else goes to shit, no matter how politically disadvantageous it is. I'm just saying.
Lawyers also said that the agency didn't want to use those funds. And the judge really pressed them pretty hard on this, asking where in the law does it prohibit using these funds to prevent the suspension of SNAP benefits, which, by the way, SNAP benefits have never been suspended or reduced before. But the administration's lawyers struggled to really give a clear and even convincing reason for why they needed to suspend these benefits. The judge at one point was so confused by the administration's arguments that she said, quote, "Congress has put money in an emergency fund for an emergency, and it's hard for me to understand."
DOJ lawyers scrawling in crayon a Chud Jack with a shirt saying "billions must die" on it and presenting it to the judge and getting really upset and angry and confused when the judge doesn't seem to understand what legal argument they're making.
How this isn't an emergency when there's no money and a lot of people are needing their SNAP benefits. And that really was a key moment. The judge indicated that she may ask the agency to explore reducing benefits because of the dwindling amount of...
I mean, the argument that SNAP no longer exists because there's no longer any congressional funds appropriated for it isn't... That's like saying the military no longer exists because no longer... Like, you could say this for every single government institution during a shutdown. Anything that no money is going towards, that argument could apply to. It's absolutely nonsensical. Why are they so desperate to starve people? I know they're evil. Look, I'm the number one guy for telling you these people only believe in evil. They're demonic. They don't have any like broader principles they're working towards. They just enjoy suffering. Okay, I know that, but like this is so politically disadvantageous for them. The judge is doing them a favor. Like, the judge forcing them to continue the SNAP benefits is doing the Republicans a favor. Don't they understand this? Of course, the Trump administration is probably going to appeal this order. So, we'll see how it goes.
Available funds as opposed to stopping the benefits altogether. That would be complicated because the USDA would have to recalculate how much specific states will get. Then states will have to recalculate how much individuals will get. But here's the bottom line. Come November 1st, the SNAP benefits will not be available for the people who rely on them. The judge says that she's going to be working quickly to come up with an emergency decision. But
of course, that decision's already been made. So, this video was recorded and released prior to that. Anyway, just worth keeping an eye on. The reason SNAP benefits have never been, attacked in this way is because it's always been seen as a political no-go. It's like going after Social Security, but this administration doesn't seem to care. Keep your eye on it. Anyway, good luck with that, America. I'll be back to regular streaming soon when I'm not quite so phlegmy. Oh, by the way, speaking of, me and my, professional obligations, I'm actually seeing some folks tomorrow. Tomorrow on the 1st. I mean, I'm seeing Progressive Victory as they gear up for a last-minute canvassing haul for Katie Wilson, my preferred mayoral candidate for the fine city that I live in, Seattle. And I'm also seeing Katie Wilson herself. My understanding, unless the plans have changed, I've been a little out of it the past couple of days, is that I'll be seeing the PV folks and Katie Wilson sometime tomorrow. We'll be talking a little bit with Katie Wilson, hopefully live-streamed. I think live-streamed. That's crazy what they can do these days. And then maybe we'll join the good old boys on a tour around the city for a little bit of canvassing. We'll see what your boy Ian is capable of. I'm not much of a canvassing guy myself, much as I advocate for it. Wouldn't want to embarrass any of my seasoned PV veterans while we're out there, you know, with my shoddy canvassing skills. But yeah, you know, I won't play myself down too much. I hope everyone's been well. Can't wait to get back to streaming regularly, you know, proper streaming. I know it's in this profession, man. You're gone 5 days. Everyone thinks you're dead. I've been getting the DMs, the emails. Where are you? Where are you? Well, buddy, listen, okay? I'm just 100%ing Hades 2, all right? Hate the game, not the player. Don't hate the game. It's a good game. All right, bye.